Formula One supremo Bernie Ecclestone and team bosses gathered in London to approve changes ahead of next year's racing. Next season will see a switch to a knockout qualifying system with tyre changes making a comeback. But Ecclestone was cautious when asked about the changes before the meeting.
Well, it's nothing really, just trying to sort out the qualifying for next year.
Was he interested in anything in particular?
Interested in everything.
Was he hoping for detailed agreements?
Qualifying with 2008 regulations, enough consensus.
Only general regulation, that's all, nothing else.
For qualifying,
On qualifying sessions?
we will get a change.
We've got to have a change.
He was followed in by Renault's Flavio Briatore and McLaren's team chief Ron Dennis, whose team enjoyed a mid-season renaissance to finish a fighting second in the 2005 championship. Next to arrive was the head of Williams Formula One, Sir Frank Williams, who's just lost BMW as a partner, and Ferrari's managing director and team chief Jean Todt, who masterminded the Scuderia's run of success and will be focused on regaining the top spot. BAR Honda's boss Nick Fry was hopeful.
Yeah, hopefully productive.
Peter Sauber has sold his team to BMW and arrived for the meeting not in a chauffeur-driven limousine, but in a taxi. Red Bull team's Christian Horner was attending his first team boss meeting. Bridgestone's Hiroshi Yasukawa, the team suppliers for Ferrari, Minardi and Jordan, have been blamed for Ferrari's lack of competitiveness. Formula One is in the throes of a power struggle, pitting 5 major car makers against the governing body and Ecclestone. Mercedes, BMW, Renault, Honda and Toyota are threatening their own series from 2008 unless they get greater transparency, more of the revenue and a level playing field for all participants.
The main proposals that were discussed today were changing the qualifying next year into a system where the cars are going to run much more on the circuit, and we're going to eliminate the slower ones in 2 stages. Then the 10 fastest will go for the last 20 minutes, running as many laps as they like. In addition to that, we're going to change tyres during the race, again, like we did in 2004. The need for keeping one tyre all the way through the race, which was done to keep the cars a bit slower this year, that will have disappeared with the new, smaller engines. And probably the biggest change is the agreement that in 2007 will bring in radically new shaped cars with much bigger wheels and tyres, and slick tyres, and a single tyre manufacturer. That's got to go now to our technical working group to look at the details, but the principle has been agreed.
Sunday qualifying was introduced this year and then abandoned after 6 races because of protests. Tyre changes are also making a return, despite objections from some teams.
Well, the changes for 2007 are to enable the cars to overtake. At the moment, you need more or less a 2-second advantage in order to overtake, and we feel that's too big. We'd rather have cars able to overtake more or less at will. That will be the case with these new regulations.
Mosley was also asked for his vision of the sport in 2 years' time.
I think we're going to have, with any luck, the full 12 teams back in, so we get completely full grids, competitive cars, a reduction in costs so that the independent teams can survive and it isn't just teams that are backed by a major manufacturer. And then generally better racing, more overtaking, closer competition. All of those things I think we're now well on the way to achieving.
Good. I think we're going to find, I just hope Ferrari get back to where they should be, and we're going to have 3 or 4 teams really competing, which is what we need.
It was a positive meeting. I think some very good outcomes of it, and I'm sure the FIA will publish very shortly what those outcomes are. And as I say, my first commission meeting, and it was held in a very positive light.
A proposal for a radical new rear wing concept was examined. The centerline downwash generating wing would replace the current single rear wing with 2 box-like wings behind each rear wheel.
I think it's too early to say. Most of us only saw those changes this morning in the newspaper before we came into the room. So I think it caught most people by surprise, particularly the aesthetic look of the car. And I'm sure that because now it has to go through a process of gaining 8 votes out of 10 in the technical working group, I'm not so convinced that it's going to go through. Not for 07. 08, it's a different story.
And finally, there was a surprise for 75-year-old Bernie Ecclestone.
Happy birthday, dear Bernie. Happy birthday to you.
Is it?
get through that at the end of 7.